Y'all actually seemed to enjoy when I did this for the last chapter of Team Affinity. We're going to try it for chapter 3. If you want to see me do this for season 3's chapters of Team Affinities, I guess let me know by dropping a like. As always, feel free to subscribe if y'all enjoy the videos. We daily upload on the channel. Been doing that for over 7 years in a row now. And I think we're going to go ahead and start with the American League East and rank their bosses first. Now, seeing the attributes of these guys actually changed my opinions a little bit. If you saw the video a few days ago when they revealed before these cards were released, I was kind of saying for each division what I thought my rankings were, and Bernie Williams still my clear number 1 for the American League East. I just love me some diamond switch hitters. When they have max contact versus each side, that's even better. His power is still solid, 93, 98. The fielding is good at 93, 83 speed for the switch hitting outfielder. He's got some good quirks, including dead red and breaking ball hitter. This Bernie Williams to me just looks solid all around. I'm excited to use this card. He's my clear number 1. I was thinking David Ortiz would be my number 2, but he's actually not. My number 2, kind of surprisingly to me, is going to be Cal Ripken Jr. He's got max contact versus lefties, still solid 116 versus righties, 109 power versus left, and still solid 90 power versus right-handed pitching, 121 vision. I think that helps with the timing windows, 116 clutch, 92 fielding with a great arm, 96 arm strength, 92 arm accuracy, 90 reaction, like a very well-rounded card. I'm surprised that Cal Ripken's my number 2 choice right now in the American League East. 64 speed, a few quirks for him. I like the dead red one right there. I would say David Ortiz, though, is going to be a close number 3. I was just expecting him to be a little bit better. For having such low fielding, I'm just surprised he doesn't even have max power versus maybe right-handed pitching. He does have max clutch, but for David Ortiz, I think I was just expecting a little bit better hitting numbers. I don't know if anyone else was maybe expecting the same thing, but max clutch on the card for him. So Bernie Williams 1, Cal Ripken 2, David Ortiz 3. Kind of a toss-up for 4 and 5 between Pena and Delgado. I think I decided to go with Delgado as number 4 just because he does have that catcher secondary, but max contact and power versus right-handed pitching to go with his max clutch. Only 85 power versus lefty scares me a little bit. The fielding doesn't matter much at first base, but that still scares me at catcher or left field if I were to put him in one of his secondaries. He does have some quirks. I like the dead red, but I'd say he's probably number 4, Pena 5. I think I could flip-flop him, though, but even though Pena's got higher power, maxed out versus righties, I just don't really like the 104 and then 96 contact. I think if I was going to use somebody at first base, it probably wouldn't be Pena. It's more likely to be maybe David Ortiz or even Delgado, just having that max contact and power versus righties. I could have platooned him with somebody versus lefties. So let's go Bernie Williams 1, Ripken 2, Ortiz 3, Delgado 4, and then Pena number 5. Let's just stick with the East, probably then Central, then West. So let's go to the National League East, rank their bosses. We got Maddox, Lowell, Seaver, Kruk, and Tim Raines. My number 1 choice, it's clear. He might be my number 1 overall card for all of Team Affinity Chapter 3 here in Season 2. I love Tim Raines' swing, 99 speed, 99 stealing, switch hitter with max contact versus righties, 92 power versus left. I think he still plays above that power number versus righties. There's just something about his swing that I love. Also having that second base secondary is nice in addition to the outfield spots with 90 fielding, a solid arm, 92 reaction. I've just fallen in love with Tim Raines this year. I like that he has dead red. Bad ball hitter should be nice. I'm just a big fan of Tim Raines cards, and he's going to be my first choice for the NL East. Sorry, I was kind of confused on what division I was on for a second. Now, I will say I might end up choosing somebody else first. It just depends on when I unlock my packs. I think pitchers are a little bit easier to gain progress with. So in terms of the order I'm going to choose them in, it might be a little bit different just for what I'm grinding, what I need. But I would say Tim Raines definitely by far my number 1 choice in this division. Number 2 is going to be Greg Maddux. He's who I would rank number 2. The control on each of his pitches up in the top right with that pitch selection, with that pitch break, he's looking really solid. In the velo, you know, it's a little bit lower, but just having that control, nasty, having that break. I'm excited to use this Greg Maddux. The pitching clutch being maxed out helps the card for sure as well. Breakout liar could be pretty good for him, but he's my number 2 choice. I'd say number 3, probably going to be Tom Seaver. I've liked Tom Seaver cards more in the past. I like the look of his pitch selection. Hits per 9 at 105 with lower pitching clutch, but the control looking solid besides the changeup. Break looking solid really on all of his pitches. I think this looks like a solid, how many times can I say solid, but a solid starting pitcher card for Tom Seaver. He'd probably be my number 3 choice. I would say, though, Tim Raines way up here at number 1. Greg Maddux a bit further down at number 2. And then everybody else a bit further down than that. Seaver 3. Probably John Kruk number 4, the new legend. I just want to try the new 99 John Kruk. I want to see how he plays for me. He's going to be number 4. And then Mike Lowell, probably number 5. That max power versus lefties looks nice. The contact number's not too bad. 116 versus lefties for him. But Tim Raines, easy number 1. Greg Maddux, easy number 2. And then Seaver 3, Kruk 4, Mike Lowell 5. But all 3 of these guys, the 3, 4, 5 spots, are quite a bit lower than my 1 and 2 spots for the NL East. Now for the Central divisions, starting with the American League Central, I would say just right now, the AL Central, the NL Central, probably pretty easily, unless I had to change my opinion by the end, but probably pretty easily my bottom 2 divisions, the 2 divisions I'm really looking forward to the least from Chapter 3 of Team Affinity. And I have a clear number 1 in this division. It's clear to me that it's Tony Clark. I love me some switch hitters, max contact versus lefties, a little bit better power versus lefties than righties. 81 fielding for the first baseman's not going to matter a ton, but maybe he's going to be better than some others at scooping some balls in the dirt, things like that. He's got dead red, bad ball hitter, first pitch hitter, all 3 of those quirks. I like him a little bit, but I love me some switch hitters. I've liked Tony Clark's swing in the past. Only thing that scares me is a little bit tall. Sometimes I don't do as well with that bigger strike zone, but Tony Clark, my clear number 1. Manny Minoso, I don't know if it's clear, but he's going to be my number 2, and I've just really liked Manny Minoso's swing in previous years, previous cards. He's got max contact versus righties, better power versus them as well. 87 speed in the outfield with 86 fielding's not too bad. He also does play third base, 84 reaction, a few quirks for him, but he's definitely my number 2. And this is where things get tricky for me. I'm not really sure because I don't have a clear 3, 4, and 5, but I think I decided that Johnny Damon, just having that max contact versus each side, having 87 speed, 97 stealing, 78 fielding with a noodle arm in the outfield scares me, but max vision, max clutch, max contact with still solid 87 and 85 power numbers. I'm probably going Johnny Damon as my number 3. Dead red breaking ball hitter, bad ball hitter, first pitch hitter. The quirks paired with the contact, paired with the vision, paired with the clutch, paired with the speed, paired with the still decent power numbers. Not as high as maybe some other guys, but decent power numbers. I'd probably put Johnny Damon in that number 3 spot. And then 4 and 5, is it going to be the new legend Tony Oliva, or is it going to be Larry Doby at number 4? Probably Larry Doby. Again, it's really a toss-up for me, but 114, 104, not bad contact numbers. 112, 18, not bad power numbers at all. 104 vision to help the timing windows. 125 discipline to help the check swings. Solid fielding, reaction, and arm out there in the outfield. The 65 speed does scare me a little bit, but not too many cards from this Team Affinity drop have my favorite quirk, and Larry Doby is one of those guys with unfazed, and that's paired with my 2 other favorite hitting quirks, dead red and breaking ball hitters. So those solid contact and power numbers with the vision, with the clutch, with decent fielding and okay speed, paired with my 3 favorite hitting quirks. I like the look of this Larry Doby. And then I would say, last but not least, probably going to be Tony Oliva, but I really feel like Johnny Damon, Larry Doby, and Tony Oliva might be secured in that number 5 spot, but he does have unfazed and dead red, just not breaking ball hitter. And then max contact versus righties, it's just the power is way lower versus left-handed pitching. He does have max clutch, solid fielding, solid speed in the outfield. But I would say Tony Clark, clear number 1. And then really the rest of the division, they're all kind of, I don't want to say they're all equal, but Manny Minoso at 2, Damon 3, Doby 4, Oliva 5. Like, I really feel like I could switch that order and still feel okay with it, but Tony Clark definitely my number 1 for the American League Central. And now for the National League Central, again, kind of the same thing as the AL Central. You know, there's not too many cards that I'm super excited to use. Definitely the probably 2 weakest divisions for me, the ones that I'm least excited about. out if we were to actually rank the divisions, which we might go ahead and do at the end of this video. But we got the NL Central now. I feel like I haven't really enjoyed any of the Cardinals Team Affinity rewards this year, except for maybe Chapter 1 of Season 2 with that Dylan Carlson. I think it's another clear number 1 for me. It might just be because I kind of grew up as a Cardinals fan in Wisconsin, seeing a lot of Brewers games, being friends with, playing a lot of baseball with Brewers fans. So I heard a lot about Ryan Braun, got to see him play a lot. But Ryan Braun is my number 1 choice. 81 speed, 83 fielding. He plays left, center, right, first, and third. Maxed out versus lefties. Contact and power both maxed for them versus lefties. 112 contact versus righties. Still not bad. 93 power versus right-handed pitching as well. 93 vision, 115 clutch. This Ryan Braun's looking solid. He's got some quirks, dead red and breaking ball hitter among those. I like first pitch hitter. I like bad ball hitter. Ryan Braun definitely my number 1 choice for the NL Central. I don't know if I'm surprised to say this, but Johnny Bench is going to be my number 2. Maxed out power versus lefties, but kind of what helps him is that catcher primary with a lot of secondaries. First, third, left, center, and right field with 93 fielding, 90 blocking at catcher, 81 reaction, a great arm, 94 strength, and 90 arm accuracy. Really not looking too bad for me at catcher, but also if you wanted to stick him really anywhere else, 48 speed, and again, maxed out power versus lefties with a 108 contact, and still not bad numbers versus right-handed pitching. So I'd put Johnny Bench 2. I haven't been the biggest fan of Ryan Sandberg cards in the past, but just on paper before I get to use them, I'd say he's my number 3. 92 fielding, 80 speeds, second, third, short is what he can play, 96 stealing, 115 contact versus left, 106 versus righties, and then 118 power versus lefties, not bad at all. 100 still great, those triple digits versus right-handed pitching. First pitch hitter, dead red for some of his quirks for Ryan Sandberg. I'd say he's my number 3 choice. I really don't know. 3, 4, and 5 I feel like could be a toss-up, but I would say Ralph Kiner probably 4. Max contact versus lefties, max power versus righties, so I don't know if I'd really want to use him as a pinch hitter unless I was doing it contact versus lefties. I think I'd probably use someone else against righties, even with the max power, but I'd say in this division, probably Ralph Kiner number 4, but him and Cepeda could be flip-flopped if I'm putting Cepeda at 5. Maxed out contact for him versus lefties, 107 power versus lefties, 78 fielding at first. Also plays third, left, and right field, 62 speed. Just not super excited for this card. I'm not super excited for Ralph Kiner. Ryan Braun, clear number 1. Johnny Bench, probably clear number 2. I guess Sandberg, clear number 3. And then for 4 and 5, going 4 Kiner, 5 Cepeda, but it's really a toss-up for both of those guys either. And I'm not really super excited for either of the Central divisions. NL Central, I'm excited for Ryan Braun. That's really about it. But I would say I'm a little bit more excited for the AL West, just overall the West divisions. And I do have a clear number 1 in this division too. I think a lot of the divisions I kind of have a clear number 1. It's not a super hard choice for me. Raleigh Fingers, one of my favorite relief pitchers every year. I like the look of the card arts. I think I realized someone said that NHL had kind of an action figure card art, so it doesn't seem as original to me, but I still think it looks good. We got Raleigh Fingers here, my number 1 choice. I like the pitch selection, sinker, slider, forkball, and a four-seamer. The controls, amazing on all of those. I love that. The break looks great besides the four-seamer. I love that. I've been a big fan of Raleigh Fingers cards, and I'm hoping that this one is no different. I'm hoping I really like this version of Raleigh Fingers. He's my clear number 1. I'd say Roy Oswalt number 2. I like Roy Oswalt cards. A lot of the starting pitchers this year don't seem to have higher hits per 9. Except for that no-hitter Dylan Cease is maxed out, but I like Roy Oswalt's pitch selection. Four-seam sinker, 12-6 slider, and a changeup. I do enjoy that pitch selection. The velo's not bad for him either. The control's really great besides the changeup, and then the break really great besides the changeup. It's still not bad, sitting pretty at 82. Only a couple quirks for him, but a lot of the pitchers this year don't seem to have that many quirks. Just overall, I think pitchers have less quirks than hitters, but clear number 1, Raleigh Fingers. Kind of, I don't want to say a distant number 2, but definitely a number 2, Roy Oswalt for me. I already know my number 5. It's not Torrey Hunter. I'd say Torrey Hunter's probably my number 3. He's great versus lefties. Max contact, 113 power. Still solid versus righties. The 96 fielding will help in the outfield. 95 reaction with still a solid arm. And then 79 speeds, not bad at all. The dead red and breaking ball hitter quirks definitely help. My number 2 and 3 favorite hitting quirks. Raul Ibanez, probably number 4. Max contact versus righties, 121 power versus righties. Really solid, great numbers versus right-handed pitching. a solid arm. Man, I'm saying solid too much today, but a good arm out there in left field. You could also put him at right or first base. The 56 speed does scare me a little bit, but dead red and breaking ball hitter are always nice to see. With those high numbers, contact and power versus righties, pinch hitter, excels at pinch hitting is always nice to see. And then a clear number 5 for me, right? Rodley Fingers is up here. The 2, 3, and 4 guys are kind of in the middle, and way down low for me is going to be Michael Young. I've just never done well with Michael Young cards. He's got max contact versus each side, 107 power versus right, 97 versus left, max clutch, 112 vision, solid fielding at short, second, third, 85 fielding and arm strength, 83 arm accuracy and reaction with 62 speed. Also has dead red. So like not a bad looking card. I've just had real bad experiences with Michael Young cards, and that's why he's a clear low number 5 for me in the AL West. And then the National League West, I already know I have a clear number 1. I really do think each division I kind of do have clear number 1s for all of these. And as a Cardinals fan, you might think that my clear number 1 is going to be Matt Holliday, but it's actually Steve Finley. And a lot of that is past experiences with Steve Finley cards, kind of the opposite for me of Michael Young. But I love me Steve Finley's swing. I will say on paper, you know, I don't want to say he doesn't look as good as I was expecting, but just for a clear number 1, I feel like these attributes might not just seem like it looking at it. But a big part of it is my past experiences. I'm a big fan of Steve Finley's swing. His swing feels real fast, and I feel like he kind of plays above the hitting attributes for me, at least usually. But 113 contact versus righties, 104 power versus them, 106 versus lefties. So just solid across the board. Also the vision, the clutch, not too bad. 87 fielding with a good arm, 84 reaction, 80 speed, 84 stealing. Maybe he'll swipe some bags. He's got dead red and breaking ball hitter, which are nice to see. I do wish he had unfazed. I wish every hitter card that I used would have unfazed and they could excel at hitting with 2 strikes, but I'm liking the look of Steve Finley, and I've liked Steve Finley cards in the past. That's why he's my clear number 1. But not close behind is going to be Matt Holliday. Maybe that's because I'm a big Matt Holliday fan in real life, because I'm a Cardinals fan. I like his swing and MLB The Show whenever I've used him in the past, but max contact versus righties with 118 versus lefties. Great power numbers, both of them in triple digits, 104 and 102 for those, 101 vision to help the timing windows. He also plays first base, which is nice to see. 80 fielding, 81 reaction, 73 speed. I feel like is a little generous. I know it's a younger version, but dead red, breaking ball hitter, bad ball hitter, first pitch hitter. I'm liking the look of Matt Holliday. I like his swing in the past. That's why he's going to be my number 2. Number 3 was a tough choice for me. I decided to go with the pitcher, Trevor Hoffman. I've liked Trevor Hoffman cards in the past. The velo obviously a little bit lower for him, but the fastball still reaching kind of mid-90s. The control looking great. Besides the curveball, which still isn't bad, the control looking really good. Maxed out on his primary circle change. Also the four-seam fastball. The pitch break looking solid, but maxed out on his primary pitch. That circle changeup's going to be disgusting from Trevor Hoffman, and that's why he's my number 3 choice. Number 4, Duke Snider. Now, Duke Snider usually for me is a pinch hitter. He's got max contact versus righties, max power versus righties, max clutch, and then 87 fielding, 77 speed. Better than I was expecting for a Duke Snider card if you want to start him in center field, left field, right field. Only 97 power versus lefties, 109 contact. You can maybe platoon him, but if anything, I think I would use him as a pinch hitter versus right-handed pitching. I've loved Duke Snider's swing in the past. He's got pinch hitter, excels at pinch hitting. The breaking ball hitter, the bad ball hitter, the dead red, the situational hitter, like all of those could pair well perfectly for using Duke Snider as a pinch hitter. That's why he's going to be my number 4 choice. I think you could easily, though, for me, switch it up with Trevor Hoffman. Either of these guys could be 3 or 4. It just kind of depends on if I need a pitcher or I need a pinch hitter, something like that. And then Rich Aurelia, just haven't really used his cards this year. New legend, he's going to be my number 5 choice, but this is definitely one of the closer divisions in terms of rankings. He plays short, first, second, and third with 90 fielding. 86 reaction, also 86 arm accuracy, and then 84 arm strength. Not bad at all for those 4 positions. 68 speed to go with his max contact versus lefties, 120 versus righties, 117 power versus lefties, but still 101 versus righties. Like, not a bad looking card. Really not a bad looking. I would say one of the more well-rounded divisions for Team Affinity Chapter 3. Even though my choice for number 1 is clear for me, it's Steve Finley. I don't think you could go wrong in this division. I think there's a lot of solid choices. And I think I need to rank the NL East as my #1 division just because of the Tim Raines. He's like my clear card that I'm most excited for. There are some others, Greg Maddux, Tom Seaver, I'm looking forward to using. But because of Tim Raines, I'd probably say the NL East #1. But NL West, if it weren't for Tim Raines, I would say the NL West would be #1, but I'm putting the NL West at #2 for me in terms of divisions that I'm excited for. AL East, probably my #3 division, and a big part of that's Bernie Williams, but Cal Ripken looks nice. David Ortiz, maybe I could use him as my first baseman, but there are some other options I think I might choose instead. But I'd say NL East probably 1, a close second, maybe a toss-up for the NL West. #3, AL East, probably AL West #4. I think that's kind of easy for me to say with seeing the Central divisions. I'm looking forward to Raleigh Fingers and Roy Oswalt specifically. And I don't know, man. AL Central or NL Central 5 and 6. I'd probably say AL Central #5 just because of Tony Clark. I think I'm looking forward to him a little bit more than Ryan Braun. So NL East #1, West #2, East #3 for me with AL West #4. AL Central #5, and then unfortunately the NL Central #6. I really just have been so disappointed by the Cardinals team affinity choice this year, besides probably the Dylan Carlson from Chapter 1 here in Season 2. But I'm interested to see the cards y'all are excited for, maybe how you would rank the divisions or cards differently or the same as me, but specifically which ones after seeing the attributes you're most excited for, everything like that. I do hope you enjoyed this video today. Like I said, y'all seem to enjoy it when I did it for Chapter 2. I'm hoping you enjoy it for Chapter 3. Drop a like if maybe you want me to do it for Chapters 1, 2, and 3 in Season 3 of Team Affinity here on MLB 24. Coming in less than a month, we'll have Chapter 1. But as always, if you enjoy the videos, feel free to let me know by dropping a like. Maybe consider subscribing for daily uploads on the channel. Thank you as always for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And hopefully I'll see you in tomorrow's daily upload.